Good morning, West Williams and Facebook friends. It is Pastor Bob with another Daily Bible Reading Insight. Today is day 132. Hey, appreciate the prayers for my mother, who's been spending a couple days in the hospital. She is on the mend, and I appreciate that. So thank you for your prayers for those of you who knew about that. And if you didn't know about that, Mom is doing okay. She's going to be back on her feet in no time. Day 132 finds us in 2 Kings, chapters 4 and 5, and beginning chapter 4 of the book of John. 2 Kings reading. What our takeaway should be with the readings in 2 Kings. Story about a widow's olive oil that keeps replenishing. A child is restored to life. Poisonous stew is made good. Military commander named Naaman is healed. Here's the takeaway for you and me. Our God is supernatural, meaning literally he is over nature. He is outside of creation because he created, he's outside of it. And so things that you and I think would be impossible, they're not for God. We see that in Jesus doing all kinds of miracles. Things that seem impossible are not for God. And even though we might not be able to understand it or even imagine it, God is capable of doing it. So stop shrinking God. Jesus talks to a Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, one of my absolute favorite stories in the entire Bible. Here's a question for you. If you could, if it was possible, would you jump in a time machine and trade places with the Samaritan woman? Your answer should be yes. Why? She was married 5 times. She had a really hard life. Your answer should be yes. Why? She was an outcast. She was on the margins of society. Your answer should be yes. Here's why. The Samaritan woman has the longest one-on-one conversation with Jesus in the entire New Testament. He spends more time with her, speaking to her, than anybody in the entire New Testament. At least that is recorded in the Gospels. I would sign up for that. I don't care how hard her life was. I would sign up for that. Changing perspective. Here's also what I think with the Samaritan woman and why I like it so much. She was married 5 times, and even though traditionally she is cast as a woman of ill repute, as a woman of questionable values that was maybe slept around, right? She was married 5 times. I would challenge that interpretation from the very simple point of view that back then women had no voice, they had no agency. She could not divorce her husband. So at the very least, here is a woman who had been rejected 5 times. Also, maybe in those days, people died earlier. Maybe a husband died of disease. Maybe a husband died of warfare. We don't know. We do know this. She had a hard life. She had a very hard, difficult life. Jesus comes to talk to her. And each time a marriage breaks up, I picture Jesus literally taking another step towards her. A marriage breaks up, he takes another step towards her. A marriage breaks up, he takes another step towards her. So as the tragedies build up, Jesus is getting closer and closer and closer. Is it possible for you that as the hardships, the struggles, the difficulties pile up in your life, that Jesus is taking another step and another step and another step, and he's closer to you than ever before, and he wants to have a one-on-one conversation with you, to tell you he sees you, he feels your pain, he understands your pain, and it's going to be okay. See why I like the woman at the well. Amen. Hey, tell me what you think of that interpretation. Jesus walking towards us as our challenges and struggles mount. And this is Pastor Bob with another Daily Bible Reading Insight. We'll see you tomorrow.